Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about the UFC 317 pre-fight press conference because yesterday I already had my video made and I was just like, there's probably not going to be anything to talk about with this press conference. There's really no heat on it. There's no backstories. It's just, obviously they're competitive fights, but as far as like trash talk goes, Ilya likes to do his thing, but Oliveira won't give him anything. Same thing with Renato Moicano. Beneil Dariush won't give him anything. So I'm like, what's the point of really watching? So I put it aside, but then I'm like, I see a bunch of chatter online. I'm like, okay, let's take a look. So I watched it today, and like, I literally can't believe my eyes and ears. The fact that you have these press conference or these MMA journalists, there needs to be an IQ test. You need to have the IQ above single digits to ask these questions. Second of all, there needs to be police, cops, SWAT, whoever, sitting at this press conference. And whoever asks, what's it feel like fighting on this city? Whatever the city is, or how's it gonna feel winning this fight? Whoever asks these two questions, have the cops throw them under the fucking jail. Under the jail, right? Because you have these people here, international press conference. We're never going to have a UFC 317 again. It's over. It's done, right? Obviously, everyone's familiar how time works. So, to have all these morons asking these brain-dead, repetitive, like, dog shit questions, what are we doing here, man? Because that's the thing. Like, why can't we have, like, an Ariel Helwani or a Luke Thomas? And trust me, I have my opinions on them. Don't get it twisted. I'm not in love with these people. However, they at least bring some sort of questions to the press conference where you at least have to use, a 16th of your brain to be like, oh, maybe, I don't know. I never thought about it like that. Or, like, some agitative question like Ariel will ask, right? And people are like, oh, well, you're just trying to make the fighters mad at each other. They're going to be locked into a fucking cage and trying to beat the shit out of each other. What's a few bad words to each other? Like, what? And then it's like, you look at these you look at these people who are asking these questions, right? It's like, who the fuck brought them here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew a guy who knew a guy who knows a guy who knows Dana White, right? There needs to be a structure where it's like, not only that, they're asking the same questions over and over again. No one's asking anything of interest. And then what one guy asked Ilya Topuria, so what do you feel like when you knock out these legends? What do you want him to say? Yeah, man, I feel like shit. I hate winning. Winning sucks. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. What? And then you got the guy from, I think MacLife or whatever, who's like talking to Renato Moicano, because at least Moicano's trying to do something. I was very disappointed with Ilya Topuria in this because when the crowd started booing him, you can tell he didn't love it, you know what I mean? Like, no one really loves it. Anyone who acts like they love being booed is, clearly lying or a sociopath. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously everyone's not going to love each other. It is what it is. However, it's like everyone wants to be loved by the fans. No one truly loves being the heel. But the thing is, I thought Topuria, he kind of... I thought he would do a bit more, like kind of lean into the heel thing, where it's just like, it came out after the I think it was on one of the embeddeds, where he's talking with Marab. He's like, man, I want to talk shit to Charles Oliveira, but he's just, I can't hate him. He's such a nice guy. And then it's like, you see the video in the press, or the embedded, where they're hugging in the sauna. I'm like, ugh. That's the thing. Fine, if you want to be respectful behind the scenes, by all means, whatever. I get, we're all human and they respect each other. It is what it is. Don't fucking post it. We want to have some sort of tension here. Like, and then Toporia's like, I wish it was someone else or whatever. It's like, okay, at least act like you guys dislike each other. Give us something to talk about. And that's the thing. I thought Topuria would at least go at him because people were saying, oh, he wants to be the McGregor or whatever, and Oliveira is just such a nice guy. Jose Aldo's a nice guy. McGregor still built up something. You know what I mean? You don't have to go all personal or whatever, but like, Topuria should have brought something out of Charles Oliveira. Especially, Charles Oliveira is here to prove a point that he still belongs in the division. Where literally, a 5-year-old can think about it. You're washed. You're not, like, you were once the king, but now I'm the king. Like, just something like where it's just like, or maybe like try to be dismissive of Oliveira. Be like, yeah, let's talk about my next opponent or something. Because that's another thing. Like, imagine someone in the UFC is like, wow, let me think here. Okay, so Arman Sarukian's here weighing in his backup. why not have Armin Sarukian sneak into the press conference and ask a question, be like, oh, both of you are not shit. I fight for the belt next. Something like, what? Whoa. And again, it's not WWE. I get you can't do all this, but at least maybe have Topuria run into Armin accidentally in the PI or the hotel or something. And that's the thing. They're both professionals. They're not going to go swing on each other, but at least have something build up, some sort of intensity, some sort of rivalry where it's okay, because that's the thing. I don't want the... I remember Dana White was asked about this fight. He's like, what, you don't like to fight? What do you mean? Because they were asking about Armin or whatever. It's no, I don't hate this fight. I just dread it because I like both guys. And I feel like if you could have done Armin versus Ilya, I've always been saying this, I've been saying it for a while. I feel like Armin versus Ilya was the fight to make, should have been the fight to make. It still can be the fight to make, because that's the thing. People are like, oh, well, Armin pulled out. Okay, fine. It looks like he's on some UFC humiliation ritual or whatever, because it's just he's having to weigh in as backup here, right? I guess to prove he can make 55, which, come on. And then he's talking about, oh, if they ask me to go for UFC 318, I'm pretty sure 318, for Holloway and Poirier, I will do this. It's come on, Dana, you know what I'm saying? The guy's not an evil guy, you know what I mean? He fucked up. I'm sure he feels like shit about it, but at the same time, I'm thinking everyone's like, oh, Armin's so pussy for not fighting. How? He already lost to Makhachev, right? And Makhachev was pound for pound number one, and no one knew that Makhachev was going to move up divisions in hindsight, right? So for Armin Sarukian, he's thinking, okay, I can go in compromised against a guy who already beat me and then never get another title shot again, or pull out and then regroup and come back. You know what I mean? Obviously I was disappointed in Armin pulling out, but that's the thing. I'm not going to resent him and hold it against him. And that's the thing too, Dana White talking about Ngannou. He doesn't want Ngannou to come back. It's I remember, I think it was on Morning Combat or whatever they were talking about, I was watching today. It's who does this benefit for Dana White being having a grudge against somebody? The fans or him? You know what I'm saying? Because it's with this whole monopoly where UFC's the top dog, they have to do nothing. They have to try nothing. And that's why you'll see the lack of promotion in this card. That's why you'll see obviously there's commercials and shit, like I said, but as far as going above and beyond, getting the $100,000 bonus, getting something where it's just oh wow, raising the stakes, some sort of unique feel to it. Because I get they do the thing in, I think, Vegas or whatever this is, where it's you have the big fighter, or not arena, but some place where it's you see all these fighters get the interviews and all that. I get, that's great, fine. But as far as this fight, this card itself, it's just extremely disappointing. And going back to the press conference, it's I shouldn't say the card's disappointing. It's just the matchups. You know what I mean? They're not bad fights. It's just I'd like a little more intensity. I've always said this. But going back to the press conference, the guy from MacLife is so Moicano, you fought against Makhachev and you lost, but at this point in your career, 2 losses. And Moicano's what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you asking me about losing? You know what I'm saying? It's who would want to be asked about, what would it be like if you lost the fight? Why would anyone want to think that? Everyone going into the fight, you have to be delusionally optimistic. You know what I mean? If you go in with a self-hating attitude, or it's I don't know if I'm good enough, that's terrible. You don't want that. You want to have all the confidence. And obviously that's the thing. You can't be blatantly delusional where it's I'm going to go in there and walk through them. Obviously everyone knows that because that's fight promo. But as far as just asking these dumb questions to these guys, I'm it's just, I feel bad for the fighters too, because they can only work off of so much, especially if they have no tension with anyone on the fight or the card. It's up to the press conference to be oh, well, this guy said this about you, or this said this about you. Not, how does it feel to win? Or how's it gonna feel if you lose? These are all just it just drives me insane. And go on the comment section of the UFC press conference. It was posted by the UFC. Obviously, they have different versions, but go to the UFC directly. I was going through all the comments. People are furious because it's why is it too much to have a good press conference these days? At least have people ask decent questions, because that's the thing. Like I said, I get people don't like Ariel and Dana White. That's another thing. Dana White putting his ego before the product. You know what I'm saying? If he put his ego away to the side and allow Luke Thomas and Ariel Helwani and all these other guys who ask provocative questions or interesting questions, we wouldn't have these conversations. And it's just It just sucks because these press conferences just feel like a colossal waste of time. And that's the thing. At least if they booked the Armin fight, right, there would have been some heat in the main event. Whereas now there's nothing. There's no heat. There's nothing. It's just respect, respect, respect. And I get it's a martial art. It's a sport. I get it. But you got to remember, too, this is the entertainment business. And for International Fight Week to have 0 storylines on the card, it just blows my mind. So I can't emphasize enough how disappointed I am with the quality of the journalism in this sport. And it's just like people are all resenting Nina Drama. It's like, no, it's not her fault. You can't put the blame on one person or one journalist or whatever. It's whoever, the TKO, the whole merger or whatever. It's just, you see the product now, you see the change in Dana White. And that's the thing too, like I always say Dana White because he's like the easiest one to call out, right? But at the same time, it's not only on Dana White. It's whoever's pulling the strings at the top is not allowing all these entertaining aspects of the sport to happen anymore. And they're just cutting corners, cutting costs, and it's just, this is what you get. Just slop, where you get these morons who are like, what is it going to be like if you knock out this legend? Will that be good for your resume? No, it'd be terrible to have a knockout of a legend on my resume. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I miss the old days, man. And it's just like, I'm sounding like an old man here. It's like, back in that day. But it's true. Like, even go back, a few years where it's like, I remember, that's like Marvin Vettori was never the greatest fighter of all time, but at least he brought some interest to the press conference. Like, I remember him versus Adesanya. That press conference was hilarious. You know what I mean? Everyone knew Adesanya was going to win, but just having these guys talk shit and just build up some sort of animosity, it's amazing. It's fun to watch. And for UFC to just post the whole Oliveira Topuria Sana thing, and then Topuria talking about how much he likes Oliveira, it's just like, it's made me sad. It's like, I don't want to see you guys fight. Like, you know what I mean? And Oliveira, even it was translated, it's like, don't worry about it, bro. Just, show up or whatever. I'm ready for the fight. Like, I don't know. Especially for Ilia Topuria, he has such a bright future. I was just really disappointed in his performance. I get you respect Oliveira. I get all that. But, you said all that about Volk too, and you still went at him at the press conference. Same thing with Holloway. Like, why is Oliveira different? Build up something, and then at the end be like, yeah, no, respect, whatever, hug it out, whatever. I don't care. But to do all that before the fight, it's just, ugh. And then, I don't know. I get it, it can't be all Hollywood, WWE manufactured shit, but like just a competitive something, and then the press conference. At least that's something that's like a jarring, like, oh, I can't believe you brought that up. Like something, man. I don't know. Like I said, these press conferences are just becoming a colossal waste of time, and I can't believe I forced myself to watch it because it was just painful. And yeah, like I said, it's not all on the press conference too. It's like the fighters could do something. Ilia Topuria, he should have tried a bit more. And as far as Renato Moicano, he did his best, but like I said, it's just, if you have someone who doesn't want to play ball, you can't really play ball. Beneil Dariush, it's like, I'm gonna dominate him and we'll talk after the fight. Like, what are you going to do with that? Beneil Dariush is not going to say anything. So, it's a combination of things. But yeah, like I said, bring back real journalists who ask entertaining, interesting questions that actually involve IQ. Get rid of all these idiots who are like asking the same thing. So, what's it like to win? Get that out of there. And just bring it back to something where it's like these press conferences are actually worth watching. And not only that, bring back the face-to-faces with the main event or even the co-main event too. And like I said, Armin should have been there asking some sort of question. So I get it's not I get it's not a movie, but like at least do something. Give us something to talk about. It's just it's so corporate and it's so like it's becoming like all these other sports and that's the thing. I get Strickland still exists, but it's becoming more like the NHL, NFL, which is like. And even boxing. Look at boxing, how boring the press conferences are. It's just, this is the fight game. It's not, I get it's a sport, but at the same time, it's the entertainment. And I just feel like the fighters need to try a bit harder, get something going. It doesn't have to be a character. It doesn't have to be a personal thing like Colby Covington. You don't have to do that. Just turn your personality up to 11 and bring that competitive energy. Bring something to press conference. Because it's like, I'll be here for days, but I'm just like, yeah, no. Hopefully in the next cards or whatever, the fighters learn. And not only that, too, it's like building up a storyline as well. Like Ilia Topuria. Literally.
I get you don't want to give a lot of these guys title shots or whatever. It is what it is. But like, at least say something to Armin. Say something about Armin because he's there, and Armin should have been there. Like, it's so frustrating seeing like so many layups and alley oops or whatever you want to call them right there for the grabbing. The UFC, and it's like, I get they're cutting corners and all that. You don't even have to spend any money. Like, the shit I'm asking for is free. You literally just be like, yeah, Armin, Ilya's gonna be through here. Just walk through here and let's just do a little something. Something. You know? Or have him in the, like I said, in the crowd and ask something. Just be like, throw a wrench in the whole thing. You know, it's just, it's so corporate and so soulless now. It's just, you know, what happened to our sport, man, you know? But whatever. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Peace.